crazy world we live in. Bundle up or you get fast bitten. We go on the road to perdition, unless we change the system. So pay attention, yo, cold, crazy world we live in. Bundle up or you get fast bitten. We go on the road to perdition, unless we change the system. So pay attention.
Welcome back. This is The Wiser Fool. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to the channel, share the video, and if you like what I'm doing here, give me that thumbs up. So Elon recently tweeted a Matrix meme, essentially saying, what if everything you thought you knew was wrong? Yeah, that's the question I've been on lately. Not a new concept, but I've been thinking, how do you get people to honestly ask themselves that question? Humble themselves. Just consider, what if? It's okay, so what? The sooner you admit you're wrong, the sooner you'll be right again, if that matters. So let's start with a question. What do you know? How do you know what you know? Really? I'm going to drop some obvious facts here, so bear with me, but if you think about it, most things you think you know are based on what other people have said or written. Unless you involve yourself personally, experiment and test your theories, you're just trusting what you're being told. It's not a criticism. We all do it. We have to. But some are so invested, so attached to what they think, no amount of evidence can get them to even consider a new idea. There was a time when being a journalist was the front line of protection against the lies that the ones in power tell and tell others to tell. Sometimes they risked their lives, paid with their lives, to tell the world what was really happening. But those in power learned. They infiltrated our institutions, bought the networks, vilified whistleblowers. The very people now making the rules and writing scripts are the ones in power. To this day, the level of obvious conflict of interest in the government is so prevalent, I think people just assume it's normal. We all know politicians lie. We shrug our shoulders when they get caught because we know nothing happens. From shady deals with charities and a $2 million non-disclosure agreement with a former underage student, to the intentional mishandling of the Afghan withdrawal and the ever-evolving laptop story, the government has become an organized crime syndicate. Politics have morphed into the highest form of criminality. The big corporations line the pockets of government officials who in turn make favorable conditions for the lobbyists, who can then go make more money and donate more money. It's a feedback loop, and everyone wins except for us, the people. So what do you call a company that has gifted your tax dollars to develop a drug and sell it back to you for 10 times the cost, while they, the drug company, enjoy peace of mind knowing that the deal grants immunity from any legal action should the drug cause harm? Criminal collusion? Now what if they knew it would do harm? What if that was their intention? That's what people like Bill Gates want. It was written in the Georgia Guidestones before they were exploded. Who knows? Best to worst case scenario, it's all bad. It's an attack on citizens by negligence or design. The kind of money some of these companies generate is more than some countries. You can buy a lot of influence with that kind of money. You can buy just about anyone or anything. And those you can't buy, you can set up. If you can't blackmail them, you kill them. People have been murdered for far less. You ever see that show, Don't F With Cats? A couple of years back. It wasn't what I expected, but I was glad I watched it. Fascinating to see how regular people with an internet connection, motivated by their love of cats, could just do what the police could not: catch a murderer. It left me with an idea that I wrote on my board of ultimate inspiration. Anyone can be an expert at anything with research and persistence. And then 2020 happened, and I put that to the test. I had a lot to learn. I'm still nowhere near where I need to be, but it doesn't take a genius to see that something was not right here. It was becoming obvious that the people who were traditionally the ones who we'd ask or look to for answers, at least hear them out, were being censored, deplatformed, and dismissed, even though they helped invent these technologies. From one of the inventors of the PCR test, Kary Mullis, to Dr. Robert Malone, who helped create the mRNA vaccine technology. It was a giant red flag to see these people being silenced and defamed. And scary to see the evolution of science as a religion to be trusted and believed, instead of the science that questions, debates, theorizes, and tests. 3 years in, and I can say my eyes are wide open. I was able to take time to do independent research and see all sides of the story to form my own ideas. Some would call me a free thinker or open-minded. Others would say I'm a conspiracy theorist, which is somehow far right now. I just find it strange that the media around the world has all the same thoughts. Says the same combination of words, like they're all reading the same script. No investigative reports, no expose. Just about everyone on board with the establishment narrative, and that's not odd. Ever hear of the Five Eyes? Canada, the US, the UK, Australia, and New Zealand. Our governments have found a way to bypass its own laws, legally, so I guess it's okay. See, there are laws against spying, listening, tracking citizens without cause, but apparently it's okay to ask your friend to do it, like Australia. Now they can avoid the privacy laws and gather unlimited intel for each other. Text, phone calls, banking, business, email, where you shop, what you eat, everything. Which they can now use however they want. Now you may say, I'm not doing anything illegal, I don't have anything to worry about. Maybe. But maybe one day you don't agree with a certain policy. For example, one that you feel infringes on your bodily autonomy. One that forces you to do what you're told or face consequences. Considering this government has no problem creatively skirting their own laws, do you trust they wouldn't use your information for nefarious reasons? What is legal or illegal, that's whatever they deem. Bypassing laws creatively is okay. But if they can get a single thing on you, something you said that can be called hate speech, taken out of context, forged, manipulated, they can make you the criminal, charge, imprison, take all you own under the so-called rule of law. All because you would not submit. Is that really so hard to believe? Because it's happening. I watched the entire 36 days of the Emergency Act inquiry. Giant shout out to War Campaign, Ro and Pan. You and your passionate bookends, the chat, made it bearable, informative, and fun. Check out their channel, War Campaign. The OPP, RCMP, OPS, all the government officials, they lied. Used words in deceptive ways, shifted the blame, couldn't remember. Only when pressed did you finally get something like a straight answer, and it was repeatedly, the Emergency Act was not necessary. The PM even basically said he didn't call us the unvaccinated, often racist, misogynist extremists. But it's on video, you can see for yourself. The mainstream media reports paint a very different picture from what I've been seeing from the beginning of all this. The fringe, independent media, as it always has, finds a way to work. Being the most adaptable creatures on earth, we go around their roadblocks and reject their Orwellian control. We talk to each other, that's where it starts. Tell stories, compare and see what makes sense, what doesn't fit. That's why they're pushing the censorship of independent media so hard. It's the man or woman on the street, recording, witnessing, and reporting that has kept the global elites from a greater victory than they achieved. Twitter being bought by Elon, whether you like the guy, trust him or not, seems to be a good thing so far, for free speech, open dialogue, minimal censorship. Still, many are under a spell. You can't talk to them, they won't hear it. They get twitchy and emotional, scream and swear. They never answer a direct question, it's always a deflection. Because they have no answers. They're parrots, repeating words. Which is fine, live your life. But targeting, bullying, pressuring others to think as you do, or else, that won't work. Live and let live should be the worst case scenario. Agree to disagree should be a given. And compromise is the goal if we're going to live together. I don't aim to target anyone, I just want to get people thinking. We are more the same than we are different. It's the sum of our personalities, our skills, and quirks that make us unique individuals. To focus on the color of what's between our legs and what we do with it, it's not important. And the less we draw attention to that, the sooner we can just be. I don't care who you are or where you're from. I care about the content of your character. Are you a good person? Do you do good things? It's an imperfect world. It always will be, and that's okay. You need darkness to see the light. We will make the best of it. We will rise, overcome, and together as a species, anything is possible. Feed your mind, fortify your body, free your soul, and remember, the wise man can learn even from a fool. And with that, we're out with the deep question of the day. Ask yourself, are you more interested in being right or with what is right? See you in the comments. Adios.
Pay attention, attention.